Let's start in Durant. The Three Valley Museum opened in 1976. It's currently housed in a building that has its own interesting history. Over the years, it's been several things, from a used clothing store to a machine shop and Sinclair gas station. Now it houses another kind of history, that of southeastern Oklahoma.
The Choctaw, Caddo, and Chickasaw Indians did do their own exhibits in one of our rooms. We have vintage vehicles. We have vignettes of what life would have been like in the early 1900s here in Oklahoma, specifically this area.
And the museum is divided up into different distinctive areas or sections. There's a Native American room. You'll see displays from the Caddo, Chickasaw, and Choctaws. You have to pay particular attention to the Choctaw ladies' quilt dating back from the Indian Territory right before Oklahoma became a state. It's an amazing piece of folk art and of history that is unique to this area. There's information on the founder of Durant, and how about Robert McDonald Jones' baby grand piano from the Civil War era. Now the next area is the transportation room.
We have a recreation of the old Durant Depot. Our vehicles, different cars from different eras, are in this room, along with the farming equipment, printing press, and a small military display.
Voltaire once said history consists of a series of accumulated imaginative inventions. Well, down those same lines, upstairs at the Three Valley Museum, you'll find an imaginative series of vignettes of life in Bryan County, primarily in the early 1900s.
We have a lot of things children would really enjoy, things that they didn't have when I was a little girl that I couldn't imagine doing without, one telephone in every home, and now kids today don't know how to deal without a cell phone, so they go upstairs and they see the old rotary dial phone on the wall in the kitchen, or they see our printing press, which doesn't have spell check on it, and it's great. It's to see their little faces and the little light bulbs go on over their heads. So, we have it pretty easy today.
When you walk through the museum, you're hit ever so delicately with a wonderful visual sense of history. Important history that's educational for the children. And for the older kids, well, it can be a trip down memory lane that'll bring up comments that are heard a lot around here.
They love the cars. We get a lot of things of, I remember this in my grandmother's house, or Granddad had a car like that, things like that. We consistently get that comment. We get the comment that we had no idea this was here and this was as nice as it is. I hate to blow our own horn, but we really do get that comment a lot.
The Three Valley Museum has a special program coming through very soon. The Smithsonian Institution traveling exhibit called Journey Stories will be here starting January the 9th and running through February the 19th. And by the way, this is just a handful of museums selected in the entire state to be a part of that exhibit. That's pretty impressive. Now, approximately 110 miles west of Durant, you'll find another place where history can be seen, literally. It's the Stevens County Museum in Duncan. There's no admission charge to learn and discover what life was like years ago in and around this area for our grandparents and great-grandparents. It's always important to tell the history of a certain area, to preserve and study it, to capture in photos. Here you can even see some of the older cameras and how those photos were captured in the first place. You'll see the different modes of transportation, starting on horseback, then wagon, and later the horseless carriage. Now, to preserve all this history, one needs a commitment to the heritage of a city and county from the people who live there. WEE CAREY, director of the Stevens County Historical Museum, says that's exactly what they have.
Right here, it's like taking a step back in time, and we're real fortunate that families have given up their family possessions for us to have the exhibit so everybody can enjoy them, so we know how the early day people lived.
You'll also find a large display that explains Halliburton, a big industry for this area for years, and its impact. Now, no matter the display, it's all about history and learning.
Well, it's educational thing for all of them, I think, and we want people to come out and just see that we do have a great museum here in Stevens County.
In Duncan, I'm Dean O'Lally.